So, guys, I'm just starting a series where I'll be doing some tasks or maybe making some food in the kitchen, and in the background of that, I'm trying to put my thoughts in front of you, or some amount of thinking I've done on these topics. So, it's kind of like a thought vlog for you guys. So, let's start with what I thought today. So I just thought of something. See, there was a reel I saw in which a couple of LGBT folks were showing their fashion sense, and to me, it kind of seemed like they were just unable to form their identity around anything. Like they were not decided yet on what they are going to wear. One of them was wearing a bikini and a loose pant, and it was showing, the bikini was showing up, and he was wearing a very tight shirt, and so it seemed to me like he has just copied certain styles which fit to his social circle and which are approved by his social circle. That may be LGBT focus groups, or people who encourage others to be different and be themselves. And here's the problem, right? That nowadays different and themselves has become synonymous, and there's a huge difference between being different and being synonymous, but that's a debate for another time. So that shows a lack of self-awareness or self-decision making, what they want to pursue. Do they want to be different, or do they want to be more of themselves? And if they are more of themselves, it is just a far fetch that they would take those random assorted set of clothes to be worn. Like, let's stress my logic here, right? So, to express yourself or to be yourself very well is not just to be to your liking, it is also to express that liking to other folks. That is self assertion, and that kind of self assertion requires not only soul searching, it also requires you to know how expression works, how your words, how your outfit, how it reflects on you, and how that is being interpreted by the person before you. That creates a representation of you that is consistent with what you are like. And I think the way these folks are trying to assert their identity, it doesn't work for them if they are trying to just do what they like rather than also expressing it well. And that's where I think they have no knowledge of doing that, or they have not thought much over it. Because if they would have thought much over it, like I have right now, they would have come to the same consensus, right? That it's not enough for me to assert my identity or to express my identity well, it's not enough for me to just do what I like. It is a feedback loop I have to develop. I have to try out things, and then I have to see what fits me and what effect it has on others. Does it represent my identity well? And then they should go ahead and refine that. But to my understanding, and I am not backing it with any statistics, most people are not doing that. At least the most people who think their goal is to be themselves unapologetically. You cannot just ignore your society to be very individualistic if you want to have, or you want to live the way you want. You may live the way you want, but if you don't express it well, that will cause clashes with the society. It will give wrong idea to other people, and it will cause clashes ahead. Yeah, so coming back to the point, I don't think they have thought much over this, given the recent events of what is happening. So, this is where the main concept comes, right? So maybe their trauma or their the pattern they want to grow out of is not asserting themselves or not being true to themselves. And to grow out of that pattern, they have to go through these steps of knowing expression, refining their expression, and refining their outfits, and refining their talk, and refining the way they react to other people. And because they are not doing that or giving much effort in it, and I think most of the people are just doing it for the sake, because they have been promoted to do that and it works for them in their social circles. Now here's the question: do we do certain things because it works for us, or do we do certain things because it takes closer to our evolution, or maybe soul mission, you can call it? And if that is the case, the people who are non-LGBT, who are not focusing on their identity, maybe they are trying to just survive, just get more money, or just thrive financially, just trying to thrive financially. Those people, those people, they're also mostly just deviating from their task. Like through random purchases which they don't need, or getting stuck in the corporate dead end job, or maybe some other case, right? Maybe just playing games at their home. Or people who want to learn stuff or are nerds. Many of them are just playing games and just scrolling through social media, and not actually doing what they need to do. And that really points to the lack of understanding we have on the process to get to know ourselves, on the process to know how to deal with that, how to learn aligning with ourselves to our best, our mission or our evolution which we want to grow through. And it's been repeated through a lot of texts, a lot of spiritual guides. Now of course not all spiritual guides, but a lot of them focus on this. A brief concept would be Moh Maya in Hinduism, or let's call it Sanatan. So there would be a brief concept of Moh Maya. So I'll tell you a story how it's actually articulated. So in a story, when the god Vishnu is asked what is Mohamaya, so he tells one of his the person who asked him to just bring him water from a river, and then he sends a beautiful woman on that river beach. So then this man who goes to the river to fetch water, he gets distracted by the woman, and then he gets attracted by her. He forgets the main task. He marries her. He lives a happy life. He has children, and then one day the wife cheats on him. The woman cheats on him, and then he has some financial losses, and then he comes back to Vishnu saying, you were going to tell me that what is Mohamaya, and you put me through all of this. You put me through so much suffering, and why did you do it? Just can't you tell me the answer? So Vishnu says to him, see, this was a demonstration of what is Mohamaya. I told you to just go there and bring me water, but your desires and delusions led you to a path which you should not have taken. And I think that very much corresponds to what the way we are in today. Whatever growth we need to have, whatever goals we are setting for ourselves, or whatever, rather than goals, we can say whatever needs of us, of which are not meeting and which require some kind of learning, or which require some kind of pattern change, those we are ignoring due to these delusions and desires. Now that's a bit intimidating, but let us look at some, like our previous examples, right? Like the LGBTQ folks who are trying to be unapologetically themselves, their own gender. Have they ever given serious thought what a gay man should look like, or what a lesbian should look like, or have they just chosen out of randomness the way they should behave, or have they chosen out of copying others how they should behave? Copying others is the best way to get far and get successful, but that is the question, right? Do we do things because we become successful, or because they work for us, or do we do things because we should do them, or they move us towards our goal? And I don't doubt that certain people should have thought over how they should look, and have thought over how they should behave based on the gender, but it is very hard to believe that all of the folks should look same if they are of the same gender, or should behave same. And there should be similarities, but there should also be variations. And maybe I'm going too much on the topic of how people behave who are trying to be themselves, but This applies to all other scenarios. Do we give in to the and desire of success and delusion of getting closer to our goal, or do we do the hard work to actually think and persevere through what we should be doing? There's also one more story around this, which at the ending note I'm gonna tell you. So there's a king who is asked the same question regarding what is Momaya, or what is like how do we deal with it, or why is it so difficult, and how he demonstrates it to the person who's asking. He gives him a vessel of oil and asks him to take a round of his large city and come back and have the oil correct, or like have the oil at the same, like the same amount of oil, have the same amount of oil in the vessel. So then, and he sets up, like his city is very lavish. There are dances going on, there are shows going on, there are people who steal stuff, there are people who are very rich, are very demonstrative. There are various shops of snacks and all that. So this guy goes around the city, and he enjoys the dances, and he enjoys the food, and he enjoys the shows going on. By the time he comes back, some of the oil has been spilled, and so king gets very angry. Why did you spill the oil? And then the person who asked the king about this Mo and Maya says that I did not pay attention. And that's what then the king says to the person, that is Mo Maya. And to the root of the question, I'm just repeating again. This is a question we must ask ourselves. So this is the base question in the story as well. Like, the person is asked to not spill the oil, but he has to take a long stroll across the city. So he has a side quest of not being bored or just being entertained, and that's what he chooses to focus more on, rather than actually focusing on his goal. And it works for him because there are, like, the city of the king is just like that, right? Other people don't have the goals. They are there to, some people are there to enjoy, so they don't care about what the person is going through, what, like, he has to carry the oil and all that. They don't care about it, and they should not even care about it. Like, why would, at some point you have to be the one who stands up for yourself, and that's where the person had to stand up for himself. He had to let go of being entertained, or at least have some limit for it, and not do it just because it worked for him in the moment. And that's the base question I think I'm just putting it in another way, but it's a base question that should we do things because they work for us now, or should we do things based on the based on self exploration and what do we want to do in life? What do we decide and how do we be mindful of that? Yeah, let's stop here. So thank you.